LeBron James yesterday opts into his contract, $52.6 million now, just remember something. That contract has to be honored by the NBA. It does not have to be honored by the Lakers. Someone across the NBA of the 30 teams will pay him $52.6 million this year. It does not have to be the Lakers, right? So that when you opt in, you're guaranteeing yourself $52.6. In the statement that Rich Paul made, he made it clear he totally gets what the Lakers are doing, in essence, building around Luka long term, which is great because, like, that's obvious when you're a 40-year-old guy like LeBron. But LeBron wants to win now, win a championship now. And you said something very interesting. In essence, they're contradicting the statement by picking up the option. Because if your number one goal is to win a championship, that's great. But their number one goal is not to win a championship. Their number one goal is to win a championship at a certain salary. That's different than to win a championship.
It is.
If he wanted to go back and just say to the Cavs, you kind of need me, pay me whatever, that's your best shot at winning a championship.
Yeah, can he satisfy all the things that he wants in LA? Can he get his money, play with his son, be part of an organization that is historic like the Lakers, and also be put in a position where he can compete for a championship with the finite amount of time he has left? I don't know if he can satisfy all those things. He and Rich Paul are trying to do that, but I don't know if it's a realistic approach.
I don't know that it is. And I think the other part of this has to be...
It's not real. It's
right.
not realistic.
But the other part of this has to be retirement. Is there any part of this that he says, one and done, I didn't want to extend out, I just want us to be great this year because this may be my last year?
Oh, it's absolutely on the board. And based on all of the rumblings that we're hearing about, what his family wants, this is a situation right now where LeBron James is going to have to consider life after basketball. And we've seen athletes in the past wrestle with this same topic. When's the right time to walk away, especially if you're an all-time great? It never feels like the right time, but we know that the family, is going to assert themselves in a way that, pushes the athlete to make certain choices. And I guess when you're looking at the LeBron James situation, knowing how important family is to him, knowing how important family is to his brand, the optics, the perception of who he is as a family man, as a husband, as a father, it'd be foolish for us to be naive and think that Savannah James, Bronny, Bryce, his daughter, that they're not going to have a say in terms of when he walks away. And we're talking about this dude playing in the NBA for 23 years. At some point, the family wants time with him beyond just a few months that they get in the summer, right? And so I guess that's the part that you have to think about, from a long-term perspective with LeBron James. How much of an appetite does he have to go somewhere else and play? And then how much longer can he continue to do this, knowing that there's always going to be that pull from the family to transition from playing basketball and diving more into his business ventures and having more opportunities for time with them. I mean, listen, we saw this in football with Tom Brady once upon a time. The GOAT decided he was going to retire. Then he came back for one more season. And I'm not going to say that it wasn't worth it for Tom Brady, but we saw that put a lot of pressure and a lot of tension on his marriage. I'm just saying that at some point, the athlete has to consider the impact, the sacrifice that everybody around him makes in order for that player, that athlete, to be able to do what he does.
Yeah.
Right? It is a total team effort. And so I guess if we're looking at this thing and being honest about the runway for LeBron James, we know that he's on the back nine. We know that he's close to the finish line. I just wonder how much the family is going to influence whether or not he plays beyond this season.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a huge factor. I mean, he's playing with his son. He talks about how that's the most fulfilling thing that's ever happened in his career. He's playing with his son. He's got his family right there. His business is there. He's won a championship with the Lakers. He's with an historic franchise, not only just in the NBA, but across all of sports. It checks so many boxes for him, especially if we are talking about a retirement tour looming, right? But you bring up Tom Brady and the strain that quest to win again took on his personal life. But Tom Brady notoriously also would take less money in order to make sure that he was putting himself in the best position possible so that the team could put the pieces around him in order for him to reach the ultimate goal, which is to win. And again, LeBron wants to satisfy all these different buckets, but some of these buckets are in direct conflict with one another. So he has to decide which one of these is more important for him. Is it playing with my son, being with the Lakers, and being in LA, or is it actually trying to win one more championship before all this is done?
What's more likely? This is LeBron James's last year with the Lakers, or this is LeBron James's last year in the NBA?
Last year in the NBA.
Agreed.
I can't see a world in which LeBron James is not finishing his career as a Laker.
So all this for nothing. Like LeBron James, they put out this statement, and it's just to do what they always do, which is put the pressure on the organization that they have to do more and give up future picks and give up Dalton Knecht, who was their first-round pick a year ago, and give up every young player that will be good one day or could be good one day for players that are good right now.
Isn't that what he always does?
Of course. But here's the difference. Every organization is in the position where they have to do whatever he says because he's the best player on the team. He's no longer that.
Right.
They don't have to do whatever he says. He could say to them, I'd like you to give up a 2031 first to get Anthony Simons from the Celtics. I'm just making up a guy, right?
No, I got you.
And they say, no. Like, that doesn't help Luka long term.
Yeah.
We need a 2031 first to be able to go and get whomever that would be best suited to play with Luka, not you. And so he's never been, since 2000, it is 2025. For the last 22 years, LeBron has never been in a position where he said to an organization, here's what I want, and they said no. I mean, the Heat drafted Shabazz Napier in the first round because he liked him. LeBron left before Shabazz Napier ever played a game, and they still drafted him in the first round. And he stunk. I apologize, but he was terrible, right? There's never been an organization, not Cleveland, not Miami, not Cleveland again, not the Lakers, that have not said to him, all right, we'll consider that. The Lakers have every right to right this second to say, no, we're not interested in doing that.
And they've also done everything he wanted up until this point, too.
Right. So now, that's why I think, if you made me bet on ESPN Bet, what team does he start next season on? I would say the Lakers, but I think there's a better chance of him getting traded than ever before in his career. Now, he needs to approve it and needs to pick his spot. Give me a look.
No.
Okay. I mean, you want to know the real trade that should happen.
What's the trade?
LeBron for AD. It actually makes a ton of sense for both teams, and it works.
Oh, gosh.
Think about that for a second. LeBron for AD actually makes a ton of sense for both teams, and it works. And, of course, it'll never happen. LeBron, not the only move that happened yesterday. We will tell you why some other moves matter in the NBA free agency period next. It's Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
ESPN Radio, home of the world.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn. Lại là mình đây. Mình sẽ gửi đến các bạn những sản phẩm cắt dán đẹp hơn mỗi ngày. Tuyệt vời. Cốc trà sữa này. Đây trên tay của mình đây là keo dán giấy các bạn ạ. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm để tạo ra được những video cắt dán đẹp như này thì mình sẽ cần có những dụng cụ đo vạch để mình tạo nên này trước mặt của mình đây. Trên tay mình đang cầm đây là những giấy thủ công màu các bạn này. Đó, rất nhiều màu sắc luôn, các bạn nhìn thấy màu sắc của nó. Đây là mình đang cầm đây, màu xanh này, xanh lá cây, màu vàng này các bạn này. Đây là màu đỏ này. Giấy màu cam này, giấy màu xanh này. Đấy.